Hello, hello, I'm Tracy Pierce. Thanks for joining me for this Live with the Animals video series. So this series was born out of what was happening here in the United States in March of 2020, coronavirus showing up here quite forcefully, lots of shelter in place, different quarantine measures, becoming in the forefront here. And I just became really curious what the animals thought about all of this. And they kept sending me messages like, Tracy, you've got to do this live stream thing. So really this whole series was inspired by the animals. They encouraged me to do it. And here we are now, October of 2020, and there's still lots of animals that keep showing up that want to share their wisdom with us. So I'm going to keep doing that as long as the animals keep showing up. So today we are joined by a little Canada Jay. And I took this picture at Rocky Mountain National Park a couple weeks ago. And my friend, she told me that they're affectionately known as camp robbers there. They love to come steal your food. You know, Rocky Mountain National Park, plenty of tourists bringing their picnic lunches in and stuff to steal. So we're going to talk to this Canada Jay today. And if you're joining me live, you can type your questions into the Zoom chat and we'll see what this Canada Jay would like to share with us today. So I'm just going to go ahead and get quiet and start tuning into this Jay and see what it'd like to share with us today. The first thing I feel is this sort of lightness in its energy. It shows like going from one little campsite to another to steal food. And there's kind of a playfulness about it, is what it says. I feel like the tourists that come are really entertained by me. So it's reminding me I've seen this particular kind of bird in some other places that I've traveled to. It's reminding me it's not just a bird that lives in Rocky Mountain National Park. Yeah, and the other place it's reminding me of is also a national forest area. And, there's picnic tables and stuff. And are you saying, like, are you drawn to humans for some particular reason? Well, they definitely have food. Yeah, the bird says, some people might consider it sort of like a codependent relationship, but really we're just being smart and uh, going where the food is. There's this sort of, it's saying like a bit of reciprocity in is showing like the humans just seem kind of delighted to see it. Like even the way it's kind of cocking its head in this particular picture, it shows like he'll go up to a campsite site and like, or a picnic site and just kind of turn its head and look and does this kind of cute little head tilting thing to get attention. Humans love to feed us. So this bird says, I know that the humans, like the rangers and stuff like that, say don't feed us, but they really like it, and they know that they can get food that way. Yeah, the bird says, I understand how it could become a problem and why they recommend not to feed us. I mean, just look at how we come in now. Like, it's definitely, animals are very driven by food, is what this bird says. He's saying it's not just birds, it's all different kinds of animals in the wild. Um, Animals are very, very driven by food. Is there more you want to say about that, or? Yeah, it's interesting. I feel it as a female and then a male sometimes. If you've watched many videos with me, you know that gender can feel quite kind of fluid with animals many times. Showing how I feel like you're trying to show me something more about this potential like codependent thing. Is there something more that maybe I missed there? Yeah, showing how, yeah, when humans feed the wild animals, it just increases the potential of the human becoming food as well, is what the bird is saying. It's like, obviously, like a bird like me isn't going to eat you, but um, showing me like moose and elk that are in Rocky Mountain National Park as well. And yeah, when we disrupt the food cycles, it's saying the natural food cycles, that's part of what creates a codependence or a relationship that maybe isn't so healthy. Okay, I feel like you're showing me something with dog training now. It feels like humans just are very used to using food as a reward. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, the bird is saying it feels like humans and the way we use food as a reward and just the way that we treat food in general is different from animals, is what this bird is saying. And how we interact and do that can create problems, and it changes natural systems that perhaps has more what's the right word, side effects than what we really realize or what we're aware of. Okay. So, how do you feel like we should interact with you with regards to food? Well, I certainly like it when you give it to me, but it does create a dependence and a certain, it's almost like the animal is looking to you for the quote unquote wrong reason. Do you have a way that you would prefer that we interact with you, or says, well, I don't know. That's kind of a hard question because I do like part of me still wants you to give me food. And hmm, yeah, I don't know that I see any kind of a solution. I can't imagine tourists are going to stop feeding the animals, honestly. Like, I've seen too many videos of people approaching wildlife and such, definitely in Rocky Mountain National Park and things where humans just seem kind of stupid to me. Um, yeah, she says, yeah, it seems like humans don't honor nature in the same way. It's almost like there's this sense of like nature and the wild being separate from the human experience. And then when humans go out into the wild, it's like they suddenly want it to be similar or the same as um, being in their own little um, world there. Hmm. Yeah, it feels like so it keeps showing me all these people coming to Rocky Mountain National Park and they're admiring the beauty and how amazing it is and everything, but part of them wants it to still be like human existence and for them to be able to do whatever they want, and to leave trash or hike or go off trails. um, Says humans are really the most destructive force in the world right now. Yeah, it keeps showing the Earth, and it's almost like this timeline evolution of the Earth. So showing it just as the round sphere, and then showing like skyscrapers kind of growing out of different parts of the Earth, and like insides of the Earth from mining and various kinds of mineral extraction kind of things. How we've changed the inside of the Earth as well. It's almost like there's this internal eruption or something showing how the inside of the earth is changing, and how it like that energy comes out from the inside of the earth, and it goes to be more around. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, it looks like we have a question here popping up for you. Make sure I have my screen on the right thing here. Um, what would you say about the health and quality of the food available now? Do you see humans as having a really dysfunctional relationship with food? Yes, I think that's a big part of it, and they're trying to expand that to all the animal kingdom. The J is saying there's this sense that humans feel that they have this superiority in how they handle their food, how they their food system. Like there's a belief that agricultural systems are much better than being hunters and gatherers. Okay, I think I missed something there. Can you show that to me again? This is part of that dysfunction that I was showing before, where it was showing the earth and things inside the earth changing. Since food actually comes from the earth, there's this sense of, I keep hearing the word dysfunction. That's not quite right. Um, Adulteration, I guess, would be like things have changed. They're not the same as they were before, showing, yeah, there is this sense of food not being as nutritionally valuable as it used to be. Um, it's showing me different food things, and it's almost like the food feels kind of dried out or missing something. Yeah, and again, it's showing all that change that has happened within the earth from mining, and now it's showing like agricultural processes where there's, plenty of chemicals put on the ground and everything. Like we've totally, completely changed the system, and that's part of the problem, is what the J is saying. Okay, so yeah, the second part, do you see humans as having a dysfunctional relationship with food? Yes, and it comes largely from a fear base, is what the bird is saying. Like we birds in general, like even birds outside of Rocky Mountain National Park that don't get fed by humans all the time, like we have a very different relationship with food. We have to trust that it will come to us, that we'll be able to find it. Whereas, and that's just kind of an everyday reality for all wild animals, and showing how, yeah, when you start looking at domestic animals and humans, there is very much this kind of graspiness and control oriented thing around food. Like we don't trust that food is just going to show up for us. There's the need to control it and manage it. And so the bird is saying this, this food system is part of what has allowed the human population to grow so large. So humans view it as a good thing. And the bird says, I don't necessarily view it as a bad thing, but there's a lot of imbalance there, is what the bird is saying. Like the quality of food is not as high as it used to be. And he's showing how it becomes food becomes a class issue as well, where, you know, the cheapest, most processed, you know, like really white bread or really processed rice, these kind of things, the things that are really cheap, are, you know, what poor people can afford. Yeah, it's showing me that, you know, like here's McDonald's with its 99-cent menu, you know, which, you know, only, you know, certain people, that's what they can afford. And then showing like this gradation going up to people who, you know, maybe exclusively shop at Whole Foods. And to get that higher, really big quality of food requires so much more money and resources, and how it creates a dysfunction. Food is really a big problem. That's what this bird is saying. So how do you think as individuals we can come into better relationship with food in the natural world then? Well, I'm not sure I can really advise on that because I don't feel like I have a super healthy relationship with food. Is showing how its own food systems have become very entwined with humans because of where it lives with this Rocky Mountain National Park, and the tourists and being fed. Um, it's like, I don't know. I just don't know about that. Is there anything else you want to say about the food systems, or white bread is really a problem? That's what this bird is saying. I guess it must get plenty of white bread at the picnic sites. It's showing just how, okay, I hear the word decimated. I'm not sure that's correct. Just how deprived it is of any kind of nutritional value, really. So it's just showing like that there's such a huge deviation from what food used to be. There's a level of not appreciating it. Um, well, I know, you know, some of the other animals have talked about praying or connecting with their food in that way. Do you feel like that's something that could help, or is there, like, I don't know. I'm certainly always grateful for all the little food and scraps that get thrown to me, but um, so the bird says, I feel like it's more bigger animals, specifically like mammals, who have more, who want that kind of appreciation more. This bird's saying like there's humans don't really eat me. So that's, I'm not so concerned with that in particular. Hmm. Yeah, this bird is, it feels like she's just saying like, I'm really caught up in this whole food cycle with you guys. And it is going to be kind of more of an individual responsibility. So it shows, it's saying like, I wish individuals would take more individual responsibility, but it's showing, so like this layer of thought, it's almost like, so it's above, and it's almost like people kind of plug their consciousness into these particular layers, and it's showing this layer around food has become, I feel, kind of this stickiness, and there's a lot of um, issues with between humans and food. And it's showing, if we could kind of unplug ourselves from this layer. And this bird is saying this could be really, really difficult for people, because it's showing, it's almost like if you have a computer that has to be plugged in to work, it's almost like in the same way we as humans are plugged into this particular layer about food, as if like this is our only kind of survival mechanism. That's the only place we know how to plug into about food. So it's showing like, if we can plug into someplace kind of higher, or It says maybe lower as well, like being more connected to the ground and feeling the natural cycles of the earth. Um, but people have a lot of issues around food, and it's going to take a lot more than me just saying, oh, we need to do this or that. I feel like it's a very complicated issue, the J says. Okay. All right. Well, I guess, you being called a camp robber and coming to steal food, I can appreciate that you had a lot to tell us about food today. I wonder if there is anything else that you want to share with the world, any words of wisdom or uh, Canada J wisdom that you might like to share with us before we close today. Well, I kind of want to reiterate what we talked about yesterday with the butterfly. So where I took this picture of this particular jay was in the same little campsite, picnic site area as the butterfly that we talked to yesterday. And it's showing like if we can bring more joy and magicalness into our lives, that brings the lightness that I was talking about before, the kind of moving from one place to another in a light kind of fashion. Yeah, she's showing like as a winged creature myself, like I have a lot of resonance with the butterfly and the joy and kind of the childlike innocence and freedom. And he's showing like little kids coming to this picnic area and running around, and this bird being really energized and loving that. If we can bring more of that kind of energy into our lives, that would be great. And saying so sometimes that might be you need to be around kids, and you need to be around people who already kind of embody this kind of energy, and to be with them, and to take the time to stop and notice your own energy and be like, oh wow, could I be more kid-like? Could I be more interactive? Could I be more playful? Could I allow my innocence to shine a little bit more? Really asking these kind of questions. Yeah, bring the playfulness in. That's kind of what will help with the food thing, is what he's saying is, this food thing that we're talking about is quite complex and twisted, and, it's probably going to take a lot of individual and collective before any of that stuff is going to change. But we really need to enjoy our lives and take the time to feel that sparkliness, or to remember what it's like to be a kid, or to find those kind of things that engage us in that kind of way, that makes these heavier things like food or politics or all these other things just really seem overwhelming. Mm. Well, thank you so much, my little Canada J friend. Kim says thank you too. So thanks to all of you who joined us here today. I hope you'll join us again some other time. I plan to keep doing these indefinitely. So check out my YouTube channel for plenty of other conversations with animals. I hope you'll join us again. And until next time, take care and be well.